Bruce, I can't believe you called me a hang. Drop. Die? Idiot. Can you do it or not? 1 second. If you can't do it, go home and grow vegetables. Who are you shooting against? The strongest AK in the National Service is the one you can shoot against. Listening to the game language, the constant voice of mockery, Landon's expression was also stunned. This is, once again, when he fixed his eyes on the screen, he only saw a conspicuous golden headshot appear on top of the screen. He's dead again. Seeing this, Landon's expression couldn't help but be slightly complicated. Afterwards, his eyes swept over and immediately saw a line of kills on the screen. AG, TMQQ. National Service Top 3 AK, C-Rank Replacement. Bruce, Oilhead Monster, Urine King, Bruce. Are you good or not? Gunface and Human Face. You can quickly quit the game. I haven't played COD in 3 years, and I'm still better than you. Even if I were to play on my live stream, I'd be able to play better than you. Just as Landon froze, the mocking voice in the game language resounded again, and even resounded in his ears. Bruce's usual trick, taunting. At the same time, as a diehard COD player, Landon is also profoundly aware of how awesome this AK of Bruce's in front of him is. A headshot in seconds. Instantaneous kill. S7 Hawkeye Stampede. WCG Dune's 3-kill head burst. All of them are things that he can boast for a lifetime. It was also all the miracles created by the middle-aged Urine King in front of him who had a bracketed face and liked to wail and cry. But just at this moment, a mechanical system voice rang out violently. Ding! Congratulations to the host for activating the COD Strongest Pro Player System. Activating the system for the first time, issuing a newbie gift pack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the favored stance template. What? Upon hearing that the newbie gift pack issued by the system was actually a favored child stance template, Landon's entire being was also completely dumbfounded. This. But the next second, Landon instantly felt that Bruce's movements in the middle of the screen seemed so slow, just like the movements of an elderly person that way. Planting flabbergasted. Look at me today. Just when Bruce was about to open his mouth. Boom. A gunshot rang out. Golden headshot. Bruce's expression froze. The original playful smile on his face instantly stiffened. Yo, this planted flute still has some strength. Just now as I didn't take it seriously, now I'm serious. You can. But not waiting for Bruce to finish his words. Just only see. Another gunshot rang out. Once again, gold exploded his head. In an instant, the pop-ups in the live broadcast room, too, immediately began to taunt wildly. Bruce, you can't do it anymore. This is all by someone else's headshot. Bruce pulled it, worthy of being the strongest replacement, really can't even handle a roadie. This dude is also really fierce. Up is a gold headshot. This will not be hanging, right? Hanging. Bruce specializes in treating hang-ups. At this moment, Bruce also realized that something was wrong. The whole person's face was also slightly embarrassed, his hands gripped the mouse, and his expression was very focused. Can't do it anymore. Must be serious. This little planted flute, there's still something. In the next second, it was only visible. Bruce was holding the COD's AK, and walked towards the front with quiet steps. Step by step, he was very careful, and didn't even let go of any of the spots, basically searching cleanly. Gradually, Bruce, as the defender, was on the verge of pressing into the lurker's home. Seeing this, Bruce also revealed a disdainful smile and hurriedly spoke. Brothers, watch out. One shot is just one shot. Just the moment Bruce had just finished speaking. Boom. Another gunshot rang out. Without exception, Gold popped his head. The live broadcast instantly floated with a screen full of question marks. This is fucking. What's going on? What's wrong with Bruce? How did he let someone blow his head off in a row? And every time the head burst is gold head burst. This fucking. Brother, are you sure you did not give me technology? At this moment, Bruce is also meaning that things are not right. This kid's stance is too perverse. If the gun is accurate, is able to practice out, then this is like a ghost-like body. Law. Damn, completely not like a road player. Small problem. The following I'm going to really start serious up. Said, Bruce is once again holding COD's AK is directly rushed out of the defender base. Boom. Another second. And again. Gold headshot. Bruce's face is full of questions. This fucking. It's a second. Shit, this is not a hang. Seeing the situation, Bruce even immediately exclaimed in shock, and opened his mouth. This damn is not hanging. He really do not believe. This reaction speed simply can be comparable to God's favorite. This is too perverted. Bruce, shake the man. Miracle Battalion, the beaters gathered. Rush. Bruce is in a hurry. Gunface just called people hangers on. Bruce, you're a real dog. Where's the energy you used to taunt people earlier? Why don't you stop mocking him now? Bruce, you can be more serious. Being shot in the head with an AK in seconds is a disgrace. Looking at the mocking words in the live broadcast, the look on Bruce's face instantly became serious. It can't be done. Regardless of whether or not the entire brother in front of him is hung, He had to fix him properly. Brothers, I'm starting to get serious now. If I'm going to die once below. Before letting Bruce finish his words. Boom. There was another gunshot. No exceptions. Gold bursts to the head. Shit. This is definitely hanging. If it's not hanging, I'll jump from here today. Brothers, you can testify. Today I Bruce here to put out the word. This pussy is not hanging. I directly is. Bruce openly stood up, extremely excitedly opened his mouth, and said. Perhaps because, too excited, resulting in the face of the brackets are very conspicuous. But at this moment, a line of small words suddenly appeared in the game's chat box. Bruce, I'm really not hanging. I'm in your live room. I still have the 36 level fan sign. Instantly, Bruce's face instantly changed, as if he had eaten shong that was very ugly. Ha ha, laughing me to death. Bruce quickly jumped off the building. By the fans' blood abuse, Bruce, you are worthy of the Alliance C-level replacement. This gun law face cannot face. No way, no way. The top 3 AKs in the National Service also have the day of being bloodily abused by fans. Come on, Bruce, you can do it. Keep taunting, huh? Bruce, shoot the most facetious gun and say the most ruthless words. The mocking voices in the live broadcast room. It also instantly rang out. All the mocking voices for Bruce. The strongest AK in the National Service was bloodily abused by a fan. This damn set out. This is really embarrassing. Bruce smiled awkwardly, full of disdain, continued to type on the keyboard, and said, Brother, you cannot pull the calf, but also 36 level fan sign. I live, there is no 36 level fan sign. Let's not pretend, okay? It's just a plug-in. What's there to say? Landon's face was full of smiles. Looking at the top of the screen, Bruce sent himself the words, but also a heartfelt smile. Did not say anything more. Instead, he secretly opened a certain tooth, found Bruce's live room, and directly sent out a treasure map. Crap. Bruce let out a cry of surprise. The whole person directly is Miso, is stood up. With a face full of smiles, he opened his mouth in a very flattering manner. Thank you, this Landon boss's treasure map. Thank you, baby, mwahaha. Bruce opened his mouth with a smile on his face, and directly raised his mouth, ready to kiss over. But just when he kissed halfway, but he violently as if he thought of something like that. His expression changed abruptly, and then his face was slightly gloomy. Not right. It's not right. Landon, this ID, how familiar it. This is not. Bruce, have you seen the treasure map I sent? In the game chat box, Landon slowly spoke. Shit. Bruce exclaimed. The expression on his face was even more complicated. This fucking really is my fan. Brother, are you really my fan? Bruce looked puzzled and very confused. This is really his own fucking fan. He, himself, would have a day of being bloodily abused by his own fans. What the hell is this dude coming from now? Bruce is also very puzzled. This operation and reaction is simply comparable to a professional player. Bruce, isn't a treasure map enough to prove me? Landon weakly opened his mouth, but the smile on his face couldn't be held back anymore, and he directly just laughed out loud in the middle of the room. Bruce saw Landon say this, and for a moment, he didn't know what to say. But in his heart, he couldn't help but wonder. This buddy, if it really is not hanging, then it is completely a very good seedling. If he joins the AG, then it is completely able to be used as a killer app. Moreover, nowadays, the S20 season is about to start. Carrier also, because of various reasons, want to retire to rest, if you can put this buddy. Thinking about this, Bruce's face also couldn't help but steeply rejoice, and then immediately opened his mouth. Brothers, I'm calling a few people. We are in a sentence. If you can win us in the dry, I let come to you to come to AG youth training. How? Seeing Bruce say this, Landon's face even surfaced a little playful smile. AG youth training. One's goal was not a small youth training. But nowadays, AG's youth training might also be a good place to go. So, without any hesitation, Landon directly just typed. No problem, Snake, call someone, I'll wait for you. Good. Hearing Landon say this, Bruce's face even surfaced a bit of a weird smile. Since this is the case, then don't blame me. I, the Miracle Battalion, am going to show off my power. Shit, wonderful, wonderful, this is something to see. Bruce is in a hurry. He can't beat them, so he's going to get help. The Miracle Battalion, I guess they'll be gathering soon. Haha, I'm laughing my ass off. If all these people Bruce found can't beat Landon, then it's really a disgrace. How can it be? The #1 general under my God's Miracle Battalion, the mute younger brother, won't bloodily abuse this hanging wall. And Sky Wasteland, directly sniping him to find the north. Exciting, exciting. Looking at the live broadcast, the pop-up screen that surged up crazily. Landon even smiled lightly, not caring in the slightest. Miracle Battalion. Oh, in front of absolute strength, everything was scum. And after, Bruce also did not have any hesitation, directly is to start looking for people on YY. The first to bear the brunt is Miracle Battalion's #1 general and the #1 fighter under Bruce's command. Esther's mute brother, Extreme Pin Pin. The second is EDG's Sky Wasteland. By the way, Bruce also got KZ's Psycho tune. Of course, there was also his son Max Stone. But the crowd in the live broadcast room were stunned when they saw the 5 people Bruce had found. The 5 people Bruce found were all battle-hardened in the league. They had played in many big and small matches. How can Landon be compared to a roadie player? Especially Neurotic Tune. That was the existence with the highest first kill in the entire league in the S19 season. A sniper rifle. It could be said to be a god, always able to whip you in places you wouldn't expect. That's why it was also known as Psycho. Unexpectedly, Bruce actually got him here as well. Now, I'm afraid Landon is hanging by a thread. Crap, Bruce actually got the tune here too. Now I think Landon is hanging by a thread. This psychopathic tune is the existence with the most first kills last season. It's so unpredictable. There's also the Mute brother in Sky Wasteland. Both of them are no slouches either. This lineup, there is really no one else. I now instead feel that this Landon hanging, facing so many professional players, he really have a chance to win. It's impossible if this Landon is able to do it. I'll also jump off the building live like Bruce. Seconded. At this moment, almost everyone in the live broadcast room was not optimistic about Landon, believing that Landon did not have any chance of winning. After all, Landon was facing the active players of the entire alliance. Although it is not the top of the line, but it is still the existence of ordinary players need to look up to. After all, those who went down the mountain should never mock the god who went up the mountain. I said, Little Snake, what's wrong with you? You can't even beat an amateur player in the Alliance's C-rank replacement. In the middle of the YY, Max Stone also mocked nonchalantly. You can do it. You give your father on. Don't be the first to be seconded at that time. Seeing this, Bruce also unceremoniously opened his mouth to dislike. I'm your dad. I'll be the first one to come. Let your dad tell you how to play AK. Watch and learn in a while. See how your father's god of alley fighting performs. At this moment, the crowd in the live broadcast room, seeing such a joyful scene, also revealed a slight smile. Instantly, the live broadcast room was filled with joyful sounds. Ha ha, Bruce and Stone mocked each other, laughing me to death. These two great fathers and sons are able to kill me with joy every time they argue. Ha! The two of them are just half a caddy. Don't taunt anyone. They are all tough-talking players. Looking at the live broadcast, the happy crowd, Bruce immediately colorful. We can't roll over this time, If we all roll over, that really is completely finished. Don't worry, Little Snake. Your father will not let him bully my son this time. Stone immediately opened his mouth and said, his voice was full of mockery. An amateur player can't even be defeated by this Bruce, really cannot even do the replacement. The rest of the crowd sniffed, but also snuck a smile. The heart did not particularly care in the slightest. After all, no matter how to say, the other party is just an amateur player. It wasn't worth their seriousness yet. Come on, get ready. Bruce excitedly opened his mouth, and his entire countenance, too, emerged with a rarely seen positive color. Dazzle them. The Miracle Battalion is on the march, and not a blade of grass will be left unturned. Go for it. For a while, the YY was also filled with the sound of the crowd cheering and drumming. And afterward, the words fell. The match officially began. The map was also a transport ship that was often used for single combat. The rules are also very simple. That is, whoever kills 41st, who will win. Entering the game successfully, the Sky Wasteland instantly is to take out their good at the God of Illusion. Directly is to open the mirror to aim up, racked Landon out of the way. Neurotic Tune, on the other hand, is as a free agent, single point out of the live, looking for an opportunity to kill Landon. The rest of the crowd, Mute Brother and Bruce and Stone, all acted as breakers and directly rushed towards the defender's home. A simple tactic to press home. Landon was directly killed in his home. The position of these 5 people could almost be said to be seamless, without any breakage at all. After all, everyone is a professional player, and their reflexes are very quick. In addition to the Neurotic Tunes wandering around pumping people, ordinary people are almost very difficult to find a break. But today's Landon is still an unusual person. At the time of Awakening God's favorites body technique template, he only felt that he was as light as a swallow, and anywhere he could go at will. So, back when the game first started, Landon was the first to go out of the house. With the help of the box's cover, he walked towards walking all the way with quiet steps. And at this moment, Sky Wasteland is also constantly opening the mirror and aiming, searching for Landon's red name. Suddenly, Sky Wasteland's sniper scope flashed a red name. But just when Carrier Wong was about to report the point, boom, a gunshot rang out instantly. Headshot. Wong Carrier dead. Defend the front of the house behind the big box. Sky Wasteland immediately opened his mouth to report the point, and the remaining 4 people couldn't help but look aghast when they heard that. After that, Bruce and Stone were the first to move. copying the AK in their hands and rushing towards the right side to defend the crate in front of the house. While the mute brother, Extreme Pin, was pressing over from the left. One left and one right formed the momentum of He-Wei. Just when it is about to arrive at the box in front of the defense home, the three people also coincidentally slowed down their pace. Step by step, walking very slowly. 3, 2, 1, pull. Also, just as Bruce just shouted out, boom, 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 4 gunshots rang out. Instantly, in seconds, the 3 people were all dead. No surprise. 4 shots. That's not right. There are clearly only 3 people here. A time. The crowd in the live broadcast room also found something wrong. But then, when they fixed their eyes towards the topmost corner above the game looked, immediately, it was an extremely incredible scene that was discovered. Neuropathy Tune, in an unknown place, was also shot by Landon with a ball-second headshot. Fuck. This brother, there can't really be something. All headshots, and that's against a pro. This isn't some big shot playing a pig in a poke, is it? It can't be. They're all training now. Where do they have time to come on? Instantly, the crowd in the live broadcast room couldn't help but boil over as well. For Landon, this suddenly showed out the strength. The crowd is also all feel the extremely lingering sense of pressure. This dude, there's really something about him. At the same time, in the YY voice. Crap, Stone immediately exclaimed, his face full of incredulity. This fucking, what a fast reaction speed. It's a second. Seeing this, Bruce also couldn't help but open his mouth in concentration, his face full of incredulity. Snake, this reaction speed is pretty good. Mute brother Extreme Pin also couldn't help but open his mouth to marvel, and there was no lack of a very appreciative look in his eyes. Such extreme, instantaneous seconds, the entire alliance almost found. Moreover, it is still a double-sided gun pulling. In exchange for a lot of professional players, it is not inevitable to be able to have such a good play. Now you guys know, this dude is awesome. Bruce's face changed, and he spoke with a slightly gloomy expression. On the other hand, with his superb reflexes, Landon didn't choose to retreat after resolving the first wave of attacks, but instead, he directly went out hard, directly stealing home. Sky Wasteland was the first to react, and the sniper scope instantly aimed at Landon. Boom. The sound of a gunshot rang out. Landon, a spinning jump with the help of the cover behind him, successfully dodged the shot of Tianwu. At the same time, he was able to pass the few seconds it took for Sky Wasteland to change ammunition. Extreme dodge. Appearing directly in front of Juan Carrier, the AK in his hand fired again. A few seconds. Double kill. Because at this moment behind the Sky Desert is also standing just out of home Bruce. Have not yet had time to shoot, so by Landon. Once again, the merciless seconds. And at the same time, the Stone Extremely Pin and also Tune 3 people also as violently seized the opportunity in front of them. Aimed directly towards the Landon in front of them. 3 people set fire. I don't believe that you won't die. The bullets swept, mercilessly piercing through the crates in front of them. And at this moment, Landon, who was hiding behind the crate, was also skillfully dodging the bullets spraying over with his dexterous stance. Just when, after the 3 of them finished their barrage of shots, they all entered the moment of changing bullets. Landon surged out. The AK in his hand fired again. 3 shots, 3 headshots. Once again, the group was destroyed. At this moment, Landon was not able to retreat in time and was hit in the leg by a shot from Sky Wasteland, becoming bloodless. 10%. Taking a look at his remaining blood level. Without any hesitation, Landon directly turned his head and threw his gun. Boom. Golden headshot. A perfect kill. It was done in a single breath, with hardly any jams. The silky smoothness even made the entire crowd in the live broadcast room a bit unable to believe. Surprisingly, someone's reaction can be so fast. And then, Landon even relied on his dexterity to escape again with the help of a box or other cover. At the same time, the live broadcast room was instantly abuzz with unbelievable voices. Crap, this guy is really a god. 2 consecutive group kills of professional players. The problem is that he's still just one person. Wiped out. This dude is too awesome. He's simply my idol. If this dude doesn't go to play COD Pro, it's really too damn bad. This is really crushing. This dude won't really open hanging it. For a while, the crowd in the live broadcast room have talked a lot. All said incredible. This fucking. If they said they didn't hang, they really don't believe it. At the same time, above the heads of the 5 top players of the Alliance, all broke out in a cold sweat. 2 consecutive group defeats. Now, it made them feel a hint of pressure, especially when they saw clearly the headcount gap above them. 14 versus 0. A touch of gravity surfaced in the hearts of all the people. It can't be like this anymore. Frontal gunning won't work. We have to think of other ways. At this moment, Bruce was the first to speak, and his entire countenance also looked incomparably grave. Tuning, you continue to roam around pumping people. The Sky Wasteland on the high point of the rack, Extreme and Sun. The three of us. All hold the group. I just don't believe that this time, we can still lose. As the former commander of AG, at this moment, Bruce was also the first to think of a solution. They couldn't let Landon go on like this. If it went on like this, the face of their professional players would really be disgraced. Son, let me do it. I'm not afraid of anyone in a head-to-head fight. It was also at this moment. Stone took the lead and spoke. And after that, the whole person even rushed out ahead of the others. But just when Stone had just shown his head, boom, the sound of a gunshot rang out. Stone dead. Defend the home box after. After seeing clearly the direction of Landon's shot, Stone also immediately rushed at Sky Wasteland, who was at a high point, to report his point. Next second, the God of Illusion fired and mercilessly rushed to hit behind the defender's crate. Boom. The gunshot rang out. Landon, too, was sniped by a shot from Sky Wasteland. Dead. Among the voice channels, Sky Wasteland's extremely low voice was also heard, but it was too late for the crowd to react. It was only to see that another gunshot rang out. Boom. Sky Wasteland, who was at a high point, was directly sniped away with a single shot just like that. What? The people who saw this scene were all completely dumbfounded. This damn God of Illusion. This kid even used the God of Illusion. At this moment, it was even the first to react, and hurriedly opened his mouth, his entire countenance looking incomparably anxious. After all, to know, in today's entire COD firearms, Phantom God's toughness has already almost reached the unrivaled point. Using the most widely circulated phrases, that is even a dog, take the God of Illusion, he could even instantly shoot twice. Therefore, if Landon really took the illusory God and paired it with his dexterous stance, instant, the crowd also didn't dare to imagine any further. And afterward, it was only heard that bursts of gunshots rang out. The crowd present almost just hadn't reacted yet, and were directly sniped off in the air by Landon just like that. And, damn, the most outrageous thing is, the crowd did not even see Landon's figure clearly. The most outrageous thing is that the crowd hasn't even seen Landon's figure clearly. It was simply outrageous. Damn, I can't stand it. I'm going to rush out first. At this moment, Bruce is also extremely shocked and furious opened his mouth. He was the top 3 AKs in the National Service, Death Venom. When did he ever receive this kind of anger? Who cares if you're Landon or Nyobai? Today, I'm going to let you taste the power of the top 3 AKs in the National Service. But the words have not yet fallen. A precise gold headshot hit. Instantly, the pop-up screen became happy. This is not going out to do it. This is clearly going to deliver milk. Haha. In an instant, the situation took a sharp turn for the worse. The gap between the scores is getting wider and wider. It's come straight to 22-1. Looking at this gap like a chasm, Bruce and the others couldn't help but cover a thick layer of haze in their hearts. Especially after Landon took the Phantom God. It would be even harder to snipe him. So, at this moment, all of the people couldn't help but look slightly complicated. Why don't you vote? Son, if you keep fighting like this, you're bound to lose. Seeing this, Stone also couldn't help but open his mouth to discourage. Nowadays, how the gap was huge. Fighting any longer, it's completely pointless. No, your father has never lost. Bruce sniffed, and even opened his mouth in an extremely solemn manner. No matter what, he was unwilling to admit that he would lose to a waterbender. So, keep fighting, I just don't believe it anymore. This Landon can really be this godly. Saying that, also took the lead and rushed out. But the result, too, was all the same. That was to deliver milk. The two of them, the Heavenly Emperor and Extreme Pin of the Miracle Battalion, who had heard the words, also shook their heads helplessly. The Miracle Battalion's battalion commander had all rushed. What reason did they have not to rush? So, for a moment, the originally tense situation also became more and more anxious. Only to see, there were constantly people coming out from their lurking homes, and they were sniped before they could take a few steps, but still insisted on continuously coming out towards the front. And the pop-ups who saw this scene couldn't help but open their mouths and lament. Holy shit, this Bruce is really head iron. Like this, all still want to charge forward. Alas, lost. These 5 professions actually can't beat a roadie. Now I'm really curious. Who is this Landon in the end? How could he have such a strong performance? It couldn't really have turned on technology. Who knows? However, it should be said that this Landon was quite bullish. One person single-handedly challenged 5 professional players, but he didn't lose the wind, and he also steadily suppressed them. With the discussion of the crowd in the live broadcast room, this challenge match was also gradually approaching the end. Finally, under Landon's deliberate waterproofing, the score was fixed at 12-40. It was also considered to have slightly given Bruce some face, not letting him lose too badly. The match ended. Bruce's face was also very ugly. To be honest, losing to a passerby, he was also feeling a bit ashamed. The rest of the crowd, also because they had training tasks, also left after the match. What's the point of playing? This Landon, what kind of god is this? Bruce secretly slandered in his heart. With his round eyes, he also looked at the top of the computer with extreme complexity. Looking at the pop-up screen full of mocking himself, he also couldn't help but fall into deep thought. Could it be that this Landon really opened up technology? But just at this moment, his cell phone suddenly vibrated. Opening a certain letter, suddenly it was to see the message that his boss, Fei Fei, had sent to him. At the same time, Taitsong Max Club. After finishing the game, Stone also immediately found his big brother, Max Horsepower. Straight away, he just rushed him and explained Landon's situation. When Max heard that Landon, by himself, after violently beating a team consisting of 3 professional players plus 2 of the strongest AKs, he couldn't help but be ruthlessly shocked. Are you sure you're not kidding? There are still such great gods in the folklore. Max opened his mouth half-heartedly and inquired. The whole person's face couldn't help but be slightly complicated. There's a live replay that you'll go watch later. Is there a need for me to lie to you about this kind of thing? And the main thing is that this guy is a double rest, sniper, and rifle can be. Didn't you also say, now Max lacks a double off? I think Landon is a very good seedling. Stone was also extremely pertinent in giving his opinion. After all, in the game with Landon, he also felt Landon's dexterous stance, as well as extremely fast reaction ability. Okay, in a moment, you show me the video, and I'll discuss it with Solo and Ruashi Mo. Max was also a person who loved talent, so he immediately made a decision. He understood that it was simply too difficult to come up with such a good seedling in today's youth training. So, if there is an opportunity, of course, he also want to fight for it. When Stone heard this, he also couldn't help but nod his head, and then he even spoke in a worried tone. If you want to get it, hurry up, I'm afraid that AG might. At this moment, it wasn't just Max's side that was heartbroken. S-Star, KZ, and the bottom of the ranking of EDG also all for Landon moved heart. After all, a good talent with a double break is extremely rare in the entire league. Think about the history of the double break players. Lee Sinan, YZK, and 11 Su, which is not the existence of the top in the league. So, when now, there is a double rest player, the moment of emergence and lofty, immediately attracted the attention of all the clubs in the entire alliance. And at this moment, Landon was also completely unaware that he had already caused the entire alliance to tremble without even realizing it. On the contrary, Landon was currently watching Bruce's embarrassment with great interest. Upon seeing Bruce grimacing and not saying a word, the corners of Landon's mouth couldn't help but hook up into a slight smile. Hee. I never thought that Bruce, who had always been smiling, would have a day when he was so embarrassed. But it didn't take long. Landon was the one who received a prompt in the middle of the game. AG Alano, you are invited to fight at Personal Athletics Channel 2, Room 10, 5 New Desert TD. The moment he saw this message, Landon's expression couldn't help but freeze. Immediately, a disdainful smile was also revealed. Impersonating AGOO, wanting to fight with himself one-on-one. Then he himself would teach you a good lesson. After all, Landon had just obtained God's favorite stance template. He had also destroyed the professional players led by Bruce. It could be said that at this moment, Landon was in full swing with fire in his eyes. I don't care if you're a real OO or a fake OO. Get down. So, without the slightest hesitation, Landon also, at the very first moment, accepted the request. And on the other side, AG Esports Club. Upon seeing Landon who accepted the invitation, OO's expression couldn't help but flinch. Immediately after the whirlwind. Even more so, he opened his mouth in an extremely solemn manner. He's here. The words fell. The entire crowd of people in the training room also instantly woke up, and then they all came together in front of OO's computer desktop. Take a closer look at the way he shoots. If it's a tech, we can also be the first to make a judgment. Bright, who was the AG coach, also spoke with an extremely solemn expression. Understood. The crowd answered in a deep voice. In the next second, several gazes all converged on top of the computer screen, carefully staring at Landon. Because, just now, Fei Fei, who was the AG's boss, had also told them about Landon's tyrannical abuse of Bruce. Moreover, the video of Landon and Bruce's battle against them was also transmitted. And then when the crowd saw the video of Landon and Bruce and the others playing against each other, with his agile stance and quick reflexes, he tyrannized Bruce and the others. The crowd also felt a little surprised. The fast reaction could be because Landon was young. But this kind of stance, without a long time of honing, it is difficult to train out. So, when the crowd saw Landon's ghost-like stance, they all felt a sense of gravity. After watching it, as the AG's captain, Big Dog also spoke directly. This stance is simply a match for Zhang Zhang. Upon hearing this, the crowd also couldn't help but slowly nod their heads. It was considered a tacit acceptance of Big Dog's statement. At this moment, even Favored One himself couldn't help but feel a little surprised when he saw this scene. How did this stance always give himself a familiar feeling? Of course, if he really does have such dexterous stances. I think we should have one more person in our youth training as well. AG's former coach, now the head of the COD program team, Young Sir, also slowly spoke. The words fell. The crowd also laughed. Sincerely, if Landon really had such an awesome stance and such fast reaction speed, it was simply more than enough to come to AG youth training. Let go and do it. Oh, you're a World 1 bulge. Come on, it's done. Young Sir at the side also couldn't help but slowly open his mouth to encourage. Because, just now, he also saw a hint of panic from OO's complexion. This wasn't a very good sign. Yes, OO replied in a deep voice. Afterwards, he also gripped the mouse in his hand tightly with a hand that was sweating a little. After taking a deep breath, he also looked above the screen with a focused expression. At the same time, on the other side, inside Bruce's live broadcast room, upon learning the news that OO was going to go gun-to-gun with Landon in the main channel, Bruce, who was the main broadcaster, also immediately went on the game. He started to use the OB view to check it out. You know, OO is the top pillar of AG nowadays, and AK in the world is a big show, coupled with the grinding of the S19 season. Nowadays, OO's normal AK can be said to have completely grown up. In the entire alliance, it is a one-of-kind existence. So, when he learned the news that OO was going to go gun-to-gun with Landon, Bruce also directly began to blow up in the live broadcast room. Brothers, watch out, this time, OO is sure to click and wildly set. What level is this Landon in the end? We will soon be able to know. A little gift to go, let's predict the score. 10-1 easy. Watching Bruce constantly bragging in the live broadcast room, the water friends present also opened their mouths to spit. You can pull it down, don't let others make it 10-1, it'll be fun. Bruce, get ready. I'm ready to see Bruce cry. At this very moment, Bruce looked at the screen full of mocking pop-ups and also immediately opened his mouth to retort. You guys still don't believe me, I said. If this Landon can take more than 3 points, I'll directly eat. But just as Bruce's words had just gotten halfway through, the scene that happened in front of his eyes also completely stunned everyone in the live broadcast room. Only to see, the match had just started. Landon was fearless, holding an AK in his hand, taking big steps, and directly rushing out from the defense house. And at this moment, it was also just now that he and OO, who had walked out slowly, had hit each other. And just when everyone thought that Landon was going to be taken down, boom, a gunshot rang out. Headshot. OO just fell straight down in response. What? The crowd that saw this scene almost all froze. For a moment, everyone present could kind of not believe their eyes. Landon. A single shot had exploded OO's head. Moreover, it was also with the AK that OO was most skillful at. This. Instantly, everyone present was nonchalant. Their faces looked incomparably complicated. At this moment, even Bruce's complexion couldn't help but become grave. Without a word, he looked into the middle of the screen, only to see, at this moment, Landon, even by virtue of his agile stature, directly flashed to the center box marble. Completely just don't give OO the chance to kill to himself. From the initial encounter between the two, to the extreme shooting instantaneous seconds, and finally flashed to the marble. The time before and after was almost a second. Silky smooth to the extreme action, but also attracted a crowd of water friends in the live broadcast room, have shouted. 666. This stance is too awesome. This is also too top. This reflexes. My goodness, if you say he didn't turn on the technology, I really don't believe it. Bruce, this is what you call a 1 to 10 take. Don't lie. Looking at the pop-ups that surged madly in the live broadcast room, Bruce, for a while, was also a bit at a loss as to what to say. He could only stare at OO in the middle of the screen with a tense expression on his face. Hopefully, he would be able to go head-to-head with the gun and solve Landon. But at this moment, Landon, who was hiding behind the marble of the main road, also slowly showed a small side. Boom. A gunshot rang out. Landon's blood level dropped drastically. Straight away, it came to silk blood. Landon, who saw this scene, couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. Crap, what a fast reaction. He had just revealed a little bit of his scalp, but he was actually crippled. And after that, before Landon could return to his senses, OO directly a set of advanced gun over. Instantly, is Landon resolved. Directly replacing Landon, he occupied the middle marble. Good job. Oyui. Bruce, who saw this scene, also couldn't help but open his mouth to applaud. The original gloomy look was instantly swept away. Afterwards, he saw OO directly abandon the marble and directly touched out along the center. What is this OO doing? If he doesn't stand on the marble, he has to go out and shoot at the gun. At this moment, Bruce was extremely puzzled and said. It was also the moment Bruce's words fell. A gunshot rang out. Gold burst his head. Landon, who had just come out from his home, was once again shot in the head. Good. Instant face change. Bruce's masterpiece. Inside the live broadcast room, there was also an immediate snap of 666. Having been killed twice in a row, Landon was clear in his mind that the other party was an expert. So, in the third time out, it is also directly just choose to jump out of the window. Directly killed 0-0 a surprise. A set of advanced gun pike AK also settled 0-0 again. But Landon had also lost most of his blood as a result. At the moment, the match had only begun a short minute ago, but the score had reached an extremely anxious 2-2. Looking at the small amount of blood he had left, Landon also completely let go. He understood. If he really wanted to go toe-to-toe with his opponent, he definitely wouldn't be able to do so. Therefore, it would only be possible to use the advantage of his stance to start the fight. Thinking about it, the next second, Landon also directly raised the AK in his hand and charged out like this. Relying on his dexterous stance, plus the marble in the middle as a cover, he began to dabble crazily. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of gunshots rang out. Landon directly just opened rubbing up, merciless bullets, crazy sweeping out, mercilessly hitting 0-0 who just came out from the lurking home. Dabbing pillar flow. This is actually favored one's dabbing column flow. No way he actually knows favored one's scuffing pillar flow. Are you sure he's not a pro? Not to mention professional players in the entire league. Who else knows this style of play besides favored one? You should be asking if it's favored one on the other side. No way. Is it possible that the opposite side is really the pride of heaven, God's favorite? Impossible. If it's a favorite, how could it be?